2023 marks 19 years of time attack at Buttonwillow Raceway Park. What was once a special invite-only event by tuner magazines has evolved into the yearly gathering of fast, modified track weapons, organised and hosted by Global Time Attack. Top Japanese tuning houses and celebrity drivers set the benchmark early on in what would become an endless pursuit of record-breaking laps for the unsuspecting circuit. Buttonwillow this time of year can make for foggy mornings, but this weekend started with clear track conditions. Some notable teams began the weekend in a rush to repair their cars and get back on track. David Hagsma in the Unlimited Class R35 Nissan GT-R suffered mechanical issues during the Friday practice. Being the current all-wheel drive record holders, they were the most promising of this year's competitors to reset the overall time attack record. The record was set years back by Will O-Young in his PZ Tuning Vibrant Performance Honda Civic. Time Attack veterans Project Import noticed an oil leak upon shaking down the S2000. Upon removing the transmission Saturday morning, they discovered the situation was more serious than anticipated, and that a crankshaft replacement would need to be done if driver Christian Wong was to get behind the wheel to set a time before the weekend was over. Making his US competition debut was Mike Burrows in his turbo K24 Ferrari 308. A SEMA standout last year, the car was shipped across the world for World Time Attack at Sydney, Australia, and is now back home and ready to set a time on US soil. Mike has documented the journey and build process on his Stance Work YouTube channel and had this to say coming into the race weekend.
So we shipped this car completely untested out to Australia for World Time Attack Challenge. It was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity I wasn't going to miss. It was the ultimate kick in the butt to get the car ready and finished. And we never thought it'd come back in time for GTA finals, but we got the call on Wednesday of this week that it was ready. So we drove up to Oakland, picked it up, got it back in one day. That gave us Thursday to kind of get it ready, once over everything. And then we were out here yesterday kind of tuning and testing for practice. And we're ready for today. We're excited. It's a sweet opportunity to kind of make this event. It's what I built the car to do. This is my home track. This is kind of what I'm most familiar with. So thankfully, the car feels really good. It was awesome in practice. We had to find a replacement bolt for a motor mount this morning. I went to hop in the car as we were getting ready for our first session and realized there was a bolt missing. So thankfully, we're all set up, we're ready to go, and I'm excited to see what kind of times we put down today.
Competition was heating up in Enthusiast class. Christopher Rosales in the Canyon Spec Engineering Civic Type R laid down a 155.2. resetting the Enthusiast front-wheel drive record by a few tenths. Right behind him was Jonathan Wheeler with a 155.5 in his Nismo 370Z. Jonathan's time was just shy of the Enthusiast rear-wheel drive record. Less than a second behind them both was Jeffrey Ting, also in an FK8 Type R. In street class, Thomas Smith took the lead with a 148.1, already improving on his time from last year's finals. In Unlimited class, Bailey Woods in the Velvet Thunder BMW M3 was chasing the Unplugged Performance Tesla Model Plaid. This car holds EV records across multiple tracks and returned to GTA finals to improve on their best time from last year of a 143.266. Like the Project Import Honda S2000, this build is a double-duty time attack and Pikes Peak hill climb car. We caught up with driver Craig Coker to ask him about his outlook on the rest of the weekend.
My name is Craig Coker and we are here at GTA Finals, and we have behind me the Tesla Model S Plaid by Unplugged Performance. It is not stock, crazy aero, suspension, brakes, wheels, the whole 9 yards. And we've been having a great day here so far. I'm sitting P1, I'm really excited about that. The conditions are good, and we've been running some used tires so far, and tomorrow we put some stickers on, and we want to give it a go. So last year we ran a 1:43, and I feel like we could go a little bit faster than that. So we'll see how it works out. I'm really excited. This is gonna be a good day. Woo!
A first ever for the event was full course drifting with hot pit drift. The first session of day 2 saw Craig Coker go even faster with a 1:43.229, a new personal best. This would go on to solidify him as the fastest overall this weekend. Thomas Smith ran into some alternator issues that caused him to miss out on the optimal morning sessions. His previous time, however, was still good enough to hold his lead in street class. In limited class, Caton Yates was leading in his Z06 C7 Corvette. Global Time Attack tends to bring a domestic versus import flavour to the time attack scene, with some interesting American builds in the mix, like Kevin Phillips in the unlimited Chevy S10, Kyle Phillips in the Chevy Bel Air, JC Mane in the Chevy Camaro TA2, and Riley Stair in the Pontiac Firebird. Enthusiast class saw a big change-up in the standings with Jeffrey Ting jumping up to first. The battle between Jeffrey Ting and Jonathan Wheeler was one originating from Super Lap Battle earlier this season. Jonathan Wheeler had reset all available Enthusiast rear-wheel drive records so far this year, also resetting 3 overall Enthusiast class records in the process. While he was eager to close out one of the most remarkable Enthusiast class campaigns with another overall class win here at the finals, Jeffrey Ting showed once again why he was a force to be reckoned with.
This is our 3rd time at GTA Finals. We've had quite the weekend. Yesterday, Saturday, Chris showed up and Jonathan Wheeler showed up and really put on some stonking times. Chris over there with the Type R as well, obviously not nearly as built as us, but what an extraordinary driver, and just completely sent it and was leading the class yesterday by, I think, at 1:55, totally besting my PB by over a second. And then Jonathan Wheeler also with the 1:55, we were only able to put down a 1:56.5 or something, and we just couldn't put the lap time together because the car for some reason was just behaving really loose. We were trying to figure out if there was any way we could tune out of it or just drive around it, but the car just seemed like a rear-wheel drive car. We were wrestling with it all day. After 1.5 sessions, we blew the V-band clamp that mounts the turbo to the head. It completely shattered in half. Luckily, we were able to find one about 3 hours south of here, and we had one of our friends bring it up, and we spent 8 hours putting this whole thing back together, making sure that it ran right. So we had pretty much an untested setup. We strapped on some stickers for today, and we just decided, hey, here's the data that we have. We didn't have a lot of good ones, and we're just gonna give it everything we had. So session 1 this morning, PB weather, man. It was like 60 degrees, perfect for turbo cars, kept everything cool. We were able to put down a 1:54.7, I think. And that was good enough for front wheel drive and also pole position, but we had a goal of trying to reset the overall record set by Zachary Sober in the WX last year. And so my team and I sat down, looked at the data again, changed the setup, and we sent it back out in session 2, and we edged out Sober by, I think, 0.04 seconds by the skin of our teeth. And so I was happy with that, but my team was like, look, we still have time left in the day. Let's do some more changes, look at the data, and go back out and see what we could do. So we changed some wing angle, we adjusted some tire pressure, sent it back out, and man, we pulled off a 1:53.9, and I am totally happy with that. But again, the team wants me to go back out. So we'll see what happens in session 4.
The crowds cheered for California-based shop Project Import and their Honda S2000. After an entire weekend of relentlessly wrenching on the car, they were able to finish it just in time for the very last session of the weekend, where driver Christian Wong managed to set a 1:49 on his first time out.
Mr. Christopher Rosales with a 1:55. In second place, with a new Enthusiast rear-wheel drive record with a 154.851, Mr. Jonathan Wheeler, TRP Racing. And with a new Enthusiast front-wheel drive record and a new class overall record with a 153.952, Mr. Jeffrey Green. And for third place, Zenyang Hong and William Wong in their BMW M3. Second place with a 150.345, Mr. Jarrell Natividad in his Studio RSR Toyota Supra. The man that came here by himself to get it done by himself. With a 148.119, Mr. Thomas Smith in his Thomas Smith Racing. The 146.938, Mr. George Zhao with his Audi R8 GTA Racing. Second place with a 145.996, watching all around series with their 433 WR Technica. And in first place with a 135.838 Racing, Mr. J.G. Corvette TO6. With a 147.957 for Ryan Radishell, the car 189, Radishell Motorsports 5 Second place with a 145.756, Mr. Bailey Woods in his BMW. Our first place is a historical first place for our time attack, and I think any time attack. We have an EV winning top honors here at GTA Finals. With a 143.229 Unplugged Performance, Craig Coker and his Tesla Plaid. A 154.719, Mr. Brian Navarro in his Ford Mustang. A 153.834, Mr. Riley Scare, car 141 from RS Motorsports. And in first place with a 149.721, Mr. J.C. Monet with his Camaro GT2 V-Bar Racing.
Be sure to subscribe and return for more Time Attack News Inside coverage. We'll be covering Global Time Attack, World Time Attack Challenge and more as the year progresses. Until then, build to the best of your abilities, never compromise, and keep chasing that perfect lap.